Hello, everybody. This is Charles. There we go. This is Charles from Ravery Sports, the owner of Ravery Sports. Like and subscribe to all of our social media platforms. If you're watching us, thank you for doing this today on our YouTube channel, on our Twitch channel, on our Facebook page, on our Twitter page. Got them all. Thank you all for joining us on any one of those platforms. Platforms have been growing. We appreciate that. Thank you very much. More Twitter followers this week, more LinkedIn followers this week, more people visiting the website. So thank you. Thank you very much for joining us in everything we're doing here at Ravery Sports. So we appreciate that. Genesis Notary Services is growing as well. So thank you. Go ahead and check us out on our Facebook page, Genesis Notary Services /Facebook. You can book the time right on the web page, right there. So you want to book a time, we will come out, go ahead and do your documents for you right on our notary page. Also, Ravery Sports Tour, August 5th, 1 o'clock, be in Harper's Ferry. Okay, so we'll be there that day, squaring that away for you. We'll go ahead, we'll have a great time out there selling all of our products and merchandise and services, going ahead, getting that taken care of with Genesis Notary Services. Happy to go ahead and not with Genesis Notary Services, with our Ravery Sports Tour. I'm doing a lot. Ravery Sports Tour out there, August 5th, 1 o'clock. We will be out there. Also, to just come out. If you want to come out here and just talk sports with us, ask a couple questions, whatever, absolutely all right with us. That we go out there. Family will be me and my team, my family be out there, getting out there, scoring away. And you can buy jerseys like this Ravens jersey that I have on right now. This is my personal Jamal jersey that I have. So let's get it popping. Let's get it squared away. So the title of this stream is our 2023 breakout players for the Ravens. 2023-24 season breakout players for the Ravens. So let's go ahead and take a look here on that. Breakout players. Okay, so what does that even mean? Breakout players. Last year, during the offseason, I heard over and over, Duvernay's going to break out. Duvernay's going to break out. Duvernay. Okay, that's fine. What does that mean? Right? What is a breakout for a player? To me, I kind of put it in a couple buckets. Okay, what is a breakout? So breakout is a rookie contributor that goes from non-contributor to contributor. Okay, so a rookie, let's say you get no playing time at all. Let's say a guy's third team, spends his first year, and then he goes into the rotation. Then he goes into the starting lineup. That's a breakout. That's not a complete breakout, but I consider that a breakout season. That's not the best version of breakout, rather, but I consider that a breakout season. Secondly, non-starter to starter. Okay, and we'll go over those guys. But somebody who didn't play at all or didn't play much, maybe you were just a rotational guy, then you go from starter to guy that's at the bench to a guy that was a absolute starter for the team, played most of the snaps, got most of the run for the team, for the Ravens. That's a breakout starter. The best kind is what I think people think about, from a starter to a stud. Okay, so maybe you were a starter, running in and out in a rotation, maybe like a starter, marginal starter. Now you're a Pro Bowler. Now you're an all-pro. That's the breakout. So there are three buckets, I think, of breakout. So we're going to look at players that are going to break out per se this year. We talk about guys you're talking about breaking out, and I have them in all different buckets. Let's see. Rookie to rotational player, Trenton Simpson, inside linebacker. Now, here's a guy who's a rookie. I think he's going to play a lot. We still don't know. Clean, I think we've heard the rumors with him and Chase Young. I think the Ravens probably will be open to trade him, but I think he'll still be there. I think Trenton Simpson, as we start camp pretty soon here, Trenton Simpson, I think, will be a rotational player for them. He'll have a contributor. I think he'll play more than Riley Harrison as well. Absolutely. So I think Trenton Simpson will be a guy that absolutely be a breakout for the Ravens. Here's a guy, I think, another one, Blue Kelly. I am not as sure at the cornerback position of Rocky Sin. All I've heard has been good with Rocky Sin. All I've been heard has been outstanding. All I've heard is really good. Looks like they're not going back to Marcus Peters. Absolutely. Rocky Sin's going to be a starter. I'm not so sure. This guy hasn't, to me, again, shown in his career where he's a A1 starter on a good defense. He's been kind of okay-ish. This is a good opportunity for Blue Kelly. I think Blue Kelly, he'll be. I'm thinking like a Kyle Hamilton. Once we get to game 6, 7, you'll see more reps from Blue Kelly at corner. I think it'll be a bit of a slow build maybe at time, but Blue Kelly, I think, will go ahead and get a little bit more run. Zay Flowers, rookie to starter. I think he's going to probably start right away, Zay Flowers. It depends on what goes on with Bateman. I think Bateman, in a perfect world, they'd have him start immediately, Rashard Bateman. I don't think he's going to be able to beat out Zay Flowers. That's my opinion of it from what I've seen. Bateman has already had an injury, kind of nursing. I think Zay Flowers, everything we've seen has been A+. He's going to run that deep ball, that 9 route. I think you have Beckham to kind of get the underneath stuff, and you got Zay Flowers to go ahead and get the deep ball. So I think Zay Flowers, signing him will be an outstanding thing for the Ravens. Having him play will be outstanding for the Ravens. I think he starts. Maybe not week 1, but I think he'll be a starter, I think, earlier in the season. One we're not sure, David Ajabo. Rotational player last year, barely. Now is he a starter? I think they're going to give him every opportunity to start. We are still a couple days before the veterans show up. Still no word of Justin Houston or JPP. Doesn't mean they won't be there. There was another name out there today. I saw an engraving Vince talk about, but we'll see. I think they're going to give him every opportunity. I think that's actually part of the reason. Ajabo, I think, has been impressive so far in the mini camps, impressive so far. I'm thinking they're going to give him every opportunity if it works. They had to be thrilled to get him, too. This was a guy certainly they were considering in the first round. This is a guy certainly they were considering in the first round last year. So the fact that they got him late, they kind of had a redshirt year. I think he's going to get every opportunity to start. Question marks there because we don't know. We don't know how he's going to play. Obviously, not as sure of how he's going to play, and not sure if how much time he's going to get. Possible. This guy, Ben Cleveland, is in the same bucket. Ben Cleveland is a guy that absolutely could be a breakout guy. Here's a guy who's drafted in the 3rd round, supposed to be a starter for the Ravens. It hasn't started yet. Last year, kind of got beat out by Ben Powers, was good. Also, to rumor, he may not start this year. Rookie 6th rounder has had a top on the depth chart here. We'll see. Ben Cleveland, I think, has a lot of ability. I think he's probably good enough to start, but I think if he's getting beat out, I think it's a good addition to the bench. I'm still thinking he starts. I'm not thinking that a 6th-round rookie will start right away for them, but I'm still thinking he starts. We'll see when camp starts here what the position is for Ben Cleveland. We'll see how that goes. Here's a guy. Now we're going to guys here that I think are going to have higher impact in this group here. Rotational players to starter, Travis Jones. No question about this guy as a starter. I think Michael Pierce is going to do well for them this season, but I think he's going to be a rotational guy, a fringe guy. I think with all this injury history that he has, Travis Jones, I've been saying it, is going to be a solid nose guard. I see a lot of Brandon Williams with him. Stops the run, great instincts. I like some guys have those football instincts. He's got it. I really like Travis Jones last year. I thought his PFF grade was way too low. Thought he was much higher than that, much better. I like Travis Jones as a starter kind of breakout. Kyle Hamilton, last year in training camp, a lot of panic. Well, he's a bust. Well, he's got beat. Calm down. Calm down. He didn't start right away, but he inched up on Chuck Clark ever so much during the season, became a solid nickel corner for them. Now he's going to start at strong safety all year long. I think he can make the Pro Bowl. I think this is one of the better safety combinations, frankly, in the entire NFL. Kyle Hamilton and Marcus Williams is as good as it's going to get. I think it's an outstanding season for him that he's going to have. I like him a lot. I think you can put him at corner as well. I don't see any reason why you couldn't put him still at that corner spot if nobody else emerges at that nickel spot. You can put him at safety, versatile, put him in a free safety, has a free safety type build. Kyle Hamilton, I think, can make Pro Bowl this year. And I think this might be an all-pro, Kyle Linderbaum. I think I've said it all offseason. This could be his coming out party is the best center in the NFL. Very underrated, extremely athletic center for the Ravens, Tyler Linderbaum. I think he might be one of the best centers in the entire AFC. Just kind of went under the radar. I mean, obviously the position he played, not a lot of publicity for his center. But I just hear over and over in my head Lamar Jackson saying how impressed he was with Tyler Linderbaum, watching him run a center and the way he moved. So I absolutely believe that's a breakout for Tyler Linderbaum. I think he's going to the Pro Bowl this year and be one of the best centers in the NFL. So there you go. Breakout players. So the Ravens have a couple of guys on that list that are going to break out into leadership roles and break out, quote unquote, into players that are going to be solid players, starters for them as they go forward. Okay, so we'll definitely check that out as we go ahead and get this squared away. All of our breakout players. So we've been doing a lot of top 10 lists here. Last week we did wide receivers. This week we're going to do tight ends. Next week we're going to do offensive tackle, who are the top 10 in the NFL. And we'll go through the list of all of the players, top 10 tight ends in the NFL. Okay, this guy here is better than you think. Tyler Higbee for the Rams. Look, they went ahead. Allen Robinson wasn't what they thought. They don't have Beckham anymore on their team. I think Tyler Higbee is going to play a big part. I kind of like him every time I see him. I don't think he's the A+, but I see a lot of that Dennis Pitta in him. He makes the catches when he needs to make them. I like Tyler Higbee here. I definitely have him in the top 10. Better than you think. I think that every time I watch Tyler Higbee in the Rams and I see him. Here's a guy who should be higher. Had a good rookie year. Then I don't know exactly what happened last year. Now, the quarterbacking, I said for Atlanta was lousy. So maybe that was it. I don't know how much better it's going to get this year. But definitely athletic ability should be in the top 5. But the production just fell, so I couldn't put him there. Kyle Pitts definitely has athletic, definitely one of the best athletes at the tight end position in the league. But there's no question about it. But I think what's hurting him is the quarterback play last year and maybe this year as well. So that's why he is so low there. He's at a 5. So he's at 9. Definitely could. If Kyle Pitts got much higher, wouldn't surprise me. I just couldn't do it, considering also to the quarterbacking he's going to get this year. This is the security blanket for Deshaun Watson, hopefully. David Njoku's had an interesting career. Up and down, and kind of like Higbee, better than you thought. I thought he was really good last year. David Njoku really was consistent for them all season long. He's had an interesting up and down career. I thought last year was up. I think talent-wise, physically, he's good. I really like him as a receiver. Blocking, I don't know. I don't love him as a blocker, but I really do like him as a receiver. I really think he's got a lot of. It almost seems forgotten about because they do have better receivers in Cleveland. But I think this is a good pick, good spot for him. One of the better tight ends, David Njoku. Dalton Schultz really helps Dak Prescott out a lot. Really a guy consistent. That's the best word I could think of Dalton Schultz. Consistent in the red zone, consistent with tough catches, consistent at the time. Not elite, not a top tier guy, number one, but he's a very good tight end. Perfect for like a Dak Prescott, a guy, without the phenomenal arm strength or anything like that. A good security blanket for him. Dalton Schultz, number 7 for Dallas. A lot of potential with Pat Freiermuth. I think he was very good his rookie year for the Steelers. I think lots of potential here. Really like him as well. I see a lot of the guys before him that were Steelers, like a Heath Miller. I see in Freiermuth a guy just go down the seams, catch the ball, great hands. I think he really, with Pickett, works well as well. I think that's always key with a tight end. Can you be the security blanket? Can you be the guy, that check down guy? Freiermuth, I think, absolutely is. I definitely think he can be higher as well. I think a lot of these guys at the bottom, like 6 to 7, really have a lot of potential to get higher as it goes through the season. Freiermuth is pretty good. I like him at 6. TJ Hockenson. Oh, man, what a difference it was when he went to the Vikings. He was really, really good. Here's the thing with him on the Vikings as well. No real on the Vikings as well. No real worries about coverage. You got Justin Jefferson there. You got the receivers there. He could kind of it's hard to double cover them, is where I'm going with that. He's really talented, really had a great last stretch last year with the Vikings. So see, he played a lot with the Lions, very good with the Vikings. I think he is number 5. Dallas Goedert could be breaking into the elite category. Very good last year for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. I think he's going to play more. He kind of played a little bit of rotation. They had 2 tight ends there. Goddard, I think, is as good as he wants to be. Again, more of the receiver type than the blocker. I think he's a good enough blocker, better than like a Joker, but good enough blocker. I really like him for Jalen Hurts, especially. A guy like this. Very kind of reminds me a little bit of Mark Andrews. Not quite as skilled, but very good. Number 4. He's at a 3 elite in the league. George Kittle. The only thing, even why he's this low, is he's had a couple injuries. He's been hurt a couple times. Even with the quarterbacking, though, he's going to be working there this year with. It looks like Brock Purdy, if he's healthy, maybe Sam Darnold. So he's really good. Runs over people. Love the way he runs after he gets the ball. After contact, I really like George Kittle as much as anybody. You try and hit him, you try and tackle him, he just runs over you. Great hands. George Kittle is as good as anybody. Number 3. Injuries, though, is the thing. Our guy, Mark Andrews, number 2. Never sleep on this guy. He's fantastic. Tough catches, physical catches. He understood very early, unlike a lot of the other Raven receivers, I need to go to where Lamar is. That's what he does so well, right? So he's getting his balls because he's going to Lamar. Lamar's unconventional thrower, runs around a lot. I'm going to where Lamar is, and I'm going to go ahead and catch the ball. Great instincts for catching the football, and a 50-50 ball is his almost guaranteed every time. Andrews is no situation where he goes after the ball, and I'm worried about the linebacker or the DB or the safety getting the ball from him. Outstanding, number 2, Mark Andrews. Be number 1, but this guy is out of the world. Out of this world. Travis Kelce is outstanding tight end by every metric. The question is going to be soon, is he going to have every record? 1,300 yards for a tight end. It really concerned last year for Kansas City. I picked them 2nd because they did lose Tyreek Hill. It was so important to their offense, etc. and they didn't miss a beat because they had Travis Kelce is pretty much unguardable at times. Uh, Even as a tight end, you can line him up in the slot, you can line him outside, you can't guard him in either place. I have every confidence he could have played wide receiver and been almost as productive. So there you go with that. The number one tight end in the entire NFL, Travis Kelce. That's our top 10 list of tight ends. So definitely here, we will go ahead and go over that as well. Next week, we're going to go over offensive tackles. So who is the top 10 of offensive tackles? So not as much stat heavy there, a little bit more subjective with that as far as tackles go. So we'll go ahead and get that squared away next week as far as offensive tackles. Top 10. All right. Now, talked a little football. We are going to switch to baseball. We're going to do our kind of big five. We're going to have some questions here with baseball topics this week, larger MLB topics we're going to go over as well. We're going to go ahead and start 5 questions about every team in the league. And plus, we're going to go over Orioles and baseball summer and all that fun stuff. Who will Shohei Ohtani? Get that right. Management appreciates your cooperation. Will Shohei Ohtani stay with the Angels? Everybody's so convinced he's leaving. I'm not. This is my opinion. I think Ohtani I think he stays with the Angels. I don't think they're so committed to trading him. I think they would. If the Yankees give a blowaway deal, if somebody comes along with tremendous prospects or something like that, and they went ahead and they trade him, I absolutely believe that they would. I absolutely believe that they would go ahead and make the trade. Absolutely. I'm not sure there is one. I think the Yankees is a spot possibly for him. I think the Padres have enough capital to go ahead and do it. I'm not so sure the Angels are out of it, and I'm not so sure they're going to just go ahead and trade him. I don't think so. I think it's not out of the realm, but I don't think they'll trade. Again, most people are saying they're going to trade him. I think they're just hopeful that they're going to trade Shohei, because who wouldn't want Shohei? I mean, he's a tremendous player, but I think he stays with the Angels. Orioles fans also stop. I put stop every time I've seen that on the post. Orioles are not going to get Shohei Ohtani. It's not going to happen. I've seen some of these trades, social media. Well, we're going to do it, and we're going to keep Jackson Holiday and all that stuff. No, you're not. You're not going to do that. He's probably going to stay with the Angels, or I think maybe New York or San Diego, possibly. But I'm thinking he's staying. That's my view of it. I don't think necessarily going to trade him. Which team needs to make a move at the deadline the most? I think the Yankees, are the most, if they're even trying to buy. The Yankees need to do something on offense. They really don't have enough offense to really win the whole thing. They have the other parts of it they need, but if they really want to make a move on offense, I don't see them. I don't really see it. If you're gonna make a run, they're gonna have to do something. I think them more than anybody else have to make a move. Are the Red Sox going to give this a fight? They're not that far behind New York. Clearly, they need pitching, I think, to go ahead and do it. So we'll see about that as well. The Cardinals are going to trade away players, so I think that's a good place to go. But to me, easily, who needs to do something, it's the Yankees. Also, too, is anybody in the Central going to make a move? In either Central, National League or American League Central, you got a whole bunch of teams at or around 500 or below 500 in the AL Central, and then you got in the AL Central. AL Central, a lot of teams at around 500. NL Central, you got a lot of the mediocrity as well. So do any of those teams make a move, or do they bow out and not pay the price? So we will see on that one. Will Juan Soto get traded? Asked this question before. I think this is a little more. I don't know if he signs a long-term deal with San Diego. I'm not so sure. They've already committed a lot of money so far, and they are not. They still got a ways to go. I don't know if they're going to keep paying all these offensive players and do it. I think it's possible if they could get Shohei Ohtani, they could go ahead and take on a guy. But I'm not sure that they keep him. I think it's possible that they could sell as well. They could say, you know what, we're paying all this money, because you could get a lot for Juan Soto. So I think they're going to have to make a decision here before trade deadline here in mid-August. And it'd be interesting to see if they are buyers or sellers. The Padres. I don't know. In the long term, I don't think he stays either way. I'm not sure that he stays. I think the kind of money that he's going to command, considering the money have already been spending, I don't think so. We'll see. Will the Yankees get a big hitter at the trade deadline? I believe it's with the Yankees, it'll be Nolan Arenado. I really think that more than it is Shohei Ohtani. I think because the Cardinals are definitely going to sell. I don't know about Goldsmith. They might be trying to get rid of, or now they're trying to get rid of. I think it's just time for them to rebuild in St. Louis. I think they're even if they get a little bit closer back to it, etc. I think they're probably best bet with the state of the franchise and the state of everything is to go ahead and sell. That's my opinion. But that's I don't know if the Yankees. I don't know if the Yankees are. I don't know if it's going to be good enough, for lack of a better word. I don't know if the Yankees is it going to be good enough to go ahead and get squared away and actually put them over the finish line. But they're the one team for sure I think is going to make a move. One last one here. Will anybody in the AL Central get above 500? Yes. I don't know who. I don't know who yet, but I think somebody will. I think 84 wins may win the AL Central. It'll be very interesting to see. I like the White Sox offense all year long. I kind of like said last year, they went to the playoffs the year before. They're a really good team. And then last year, they had a lot of injuries. This year, the pitching has really been bad. If they decide to buy, it'd be interesting. I think all those teams have a reason to buy and a reason to sell. Twins are just not impressed, even though they're in front. Guardians are just not impressed. So, I mean, do they want it? Do they want to go ahead and get it? But somebody will emerge victorious. I don't know who that is. If I had to guess, I'd probably say Cleveland. But I'm not confident in any of those teams in the Central Division. All right. So let's go over this here as well. Thank you very much for that. So those questions here. So let's talk this subject here, Orioles. More business related. Will the Orioles have an all-star game in 2025? Looking at it here as well, Orioles are apparently under the list consideration. Ron Manfred, of course, didn't actually say that it was, but the Orioles may or not have put in a bid for the All-Star game. About that time, it's been 30 years. It's been 93 since the Orioles have had an All-Star game in Baltimore, Camden Yards. So I think it'd be an excellent thing for the city, excellent thing as well for the organization to go ahead. Always you get a little giddy up in your step there if you can actually go ahead and get a all-star game. So it'll be very interesting to see if the Orioles can actually go ahead and get that. We should know, I think, probably the end of this year, next year, if the Orioles are actually able to get an all-star game, Camden Yards. Let's take a look at this here. I'm going to go ahead and read this verbatim here. A joint statement from the governor, Governor Wes Moore, who is the governor of Maryland, for those of you out there who don't know, and the Baltimore Orioles. John Angelos, the head of the Orioles, managing partner of the Baltimore Orioles. 7/13, Governor Wes Moore and Orioles chair, managing partner John Angelos released the following joint statement regarding Camden Yards. The last 4 months have been exciting on and off the field. Baltimore City and the state of Maryland have Orioles fever. We have laid the groundwork for success. Progress is also being made to expand our vision to expand and revitalize the Camden Yards campus. We are determined to make it happen, and soon. What comes next for Camden Yards? It must serve our entire community and the city as a whole, from the ballpark and the surrounding neighborhoods to Harbor Place and the Inner Harbor. We are committed to have the downtown corridor a premier destination that benefits Baltimore and Maryland residents year-round. We have shared ideals to create a thriving and inclusive Baltimore, not just for Baltimore and the Orioles, and for all of those who call it home. Okay, so that is the joint statement from Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland, and the Baltimore Orioles about the lease. At the beginning of the year, the Angelos family was speculating that the lease would be signed for the Orioles, the long-term lease. They signed, I think it was a 2-year lease a couple of years ago. It's about up now. And so they basically are looking for a long-term lease in Baltimore to commit. It has been signed. And I looked at that, and at first it was like, Jesus Christ, did they sign or they didn't sign? It was like, why did they even put that out there? Like, I guess to let people know. I guess they got enough requests about has it been signed? They would say something, I suppose. All right, well, we'll say something. But nothing's really happened. This is kind of a Baltimore conversation for those of you watching this, Oriole fan, Ray fan, not Baltimoreans as well. Like I was for 31 years. I'm native Baltimorean. I grew up there, Baltimore City, Baltimore County, surrounding areas. So I'm a native Baltimore. I don't live there anymore. But this is a more Baltimore conversation. This is typical Baltimore. Can't get anything done, right? The Baltimore arena, I think, if you're an old guy like me, and you would call it the Baltimore Civic Center. If it was an NBA arena, it'd be the oldest arena in the NBA. It's still downtown. The Wizards, who used to be the Bullets, used to play there in the 70s. It wasn't a good enough arena then, so they moved to DC, right? And they built an arena, it was US Air Arena. It used to be called the Cap Center, right? So they moved from the Baltimore Arena, Baltimore Civic Center, it used to be called, to the Cap Center. And then they moved downtown to the arena. And I'm not even sure the name at the time. It used to be called the MCI Center, but it's right downtown. They built 2 arenas, more my point, in DC since we've had the Baltimore Civic Center. Pimlico is a mess. The people in Baltimore, they won't do anything with it because they don't like the area it's in. That we can't get this done is just, it's ridiculous. It's not that hard, guys. I heard somebody say, another content creator, well, the area is the issue. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's nothing but empty warehouses and a Staples, and it's plenty of reason to do this. But they probably haven't been in a room, probably worried about their cut, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm confident. I'm saying all this to say I don't have a lot of confidence in that this grand idea will get done. I think they will sign the lease. I think that's what we're really concerned about as fans. I think they will sign a lease. They'll come out with something, some kind of concession. But there's no reason why that couldn't look like Wrigleyville. Why it couldn't be a tourist destination and all that other stuff. downtown Baltimore. I think a lot of fans would like it. I think a lot of people coming to Baltimore would like it. I think that's a very uh, easy thing to do. But unfortunately, this is what we're left with. This is very, this is very Baltimore. Still have that same arena that's was around in the 70s. Can't get that done. Terps won't play games in Baltimore because of the arena. Don't have a relationship with the city. Those things are just tiresome and troublesome. And he's been saying that they're going to go ahead and sign this and do this and all that. And and they put out a statement just saying, well, we're still talking about it because you're getting requests and you don't want to do an interview. Probably. Allegedly. Right. So we're hoping for a lease sign. We're hoping for all these things in Baltimore. I love to go downtown in Baltimore and go to a game, having a business that's around my Oriole fandom, the Raven fandom. I love to actually see that. It was astounding to me, and I went to just to finish with this. Went to a game last year, Orioles Red Sox. I hadn't been downtown Baltimore in about 2 years. I was shocked the way it looked, how empty it was. Like just coming in and out, how easy it was. I mean, some of the same stuff was there, but a lot of those businesses were closed. A lot of that stuff was abandoned. A lot of stuff was boarded up, even downtown. So let's get it done. Westmore, Angela's family, get it done. Let's get Wrigleyville going in downtown. Call it Camden Yardsville or whatever. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and continue. We're going to do more baseball as well. So we promised the best high school players in the 2023 MLB draft as we go forward with baseball summer. We're going to go ahead and talk about this again this week. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the players. Now, we were going to do this before draft, but we're going to do it now this week. Who are some of the best high school players in the MLB draft? Okay, so who are some of the best high school players in the MLB draft? Now, the MLB high school is very interesting. You always see with these players that they're committed to actually go to a different you actually see with a lot of these high school players where they're committed to go to different places, this college, that college, that college. A lot of it also depends on the draft standing and signability. Some may actually go to college. Usually this group here, first round, nowadays, I rarely see that because they're just passing them too much money. That's why the MLB signers are signing guys for more money here as well. So let's take a look. Max Clark. I think Max Clark could have been the number one overall pick. He got signed by the Tigers. I think he's going to be in the top 100 immediately as far as prospects as well. We're going to go ahead and do that. That's why we're going to go ahead and look over that. Top 100, I think 5-2 player. No question about it. Probably only one 5-2 player as far as the high school players. If he goes to college, he'd be a top player at LSU or Tennessee or an SEC school. Absolutely. Probably easy if it hadn't been for the two super studs, Skeens and Dylan Cruz. Definitely would have been a number one pick. Would have had no problem with it at all. He's going to be outstanding in the minor leagues for the Tigers. Walker Jenkins, South Brunswick High School. The Twins go ahead and pick him up. Hey, Twins need some help, need some young players, mid-market team. A guy I think about if Max Clark is a 5-2 player, he's like 4 out of 5, a little bit closer. I think he is going to do very well in the MLB as well. I think he's not going to be the immediate prospect though Max Clark is. So I think where Max Clark will be here in 2023, he's going to be knocking on the door next year to majors. I think he might need till 2025. Outstanding prospect though. Blake Mitchell. I flashed him a couple times. I talked about it when we did our draft recap, when we did a couple things here. I'm still just a little lukewarm on him as a top prospect. But this is, again, standard procedure. Top high school catcher going in the first round, and that's what he is. I think he's going to be good on the defensive side. So I think you're going to need that going forward. Now with the pitch clock and all that, You're going to need good defensive catchers in the majors. That's going to be a real thing. You're definitely going to have to do that in the MLB. Going ahead and getting good defensive catchers to go ahead and get that squared away. Noble Meyer, I think, is an outstanding pitching prospect. This guy is all arm, can throw hard, and he throws hard. he's he's going to top you out at 100 miles an hour. A lot like a lot of high school prospects, he's going to have to fill out a bit, grow up a bit. He is, but I think he's definitely the potential is there. I worry sometimes about high school pitching prospects. You have to pitch a while in the minors to really get to the majors. It's going to take a couple years usually for pitchers. Hitters, offensive guys, they get about a year in AAA, especially like a guy like at these guys' level, and you're about good, maybe a year in the minors rather total. Pitchers may need 3 years, but he's got the talent. Definitely, I understand why you drafted him. Definitely, he's got the ability, top 10. Arjun Nimina, one of the first Indian-born players ever drafted to the MLB. Nimla, I think I'm mispronouncing him, who was drafted by the Blue Jays. Definitely, like our draft pick, that's what I see when I see him. More like the Ozzie Smith type, the defensive guy. Definitely that quick bat, lots of speed as well. Look at him. He's one of the happiest guys that you'll ever want to see. Every video has him smiling. Florida Baseball Player of the Year. A lot of pedigree with that. With a lot of the Florida Baseball Players of the Year. So he's outstanding as far as a player goes. Not a lot of power. I think he is got a ways to go. I think he's more a leadoff type. But look, going to a Blue Jays system where it's definitely room to move there. I think he's probably 2025 before you see him at AAA. Got a little ways to go, but lots of potential. Aiden Miller, third base shortstop prospect, the Phillies went ahead and they drafted him. Mitchell High School. This is a big guy. This is a big corner power hitting prospect. Played shortstop in high school. I don't think he's not going to stay shortstop. He's a first baseman. Kind of see a lot of what I see Kobe Mayo with him as well. He's a guy that's definitely going ahead and being a power hitter, hit for power, hit for average. I think the rest of it needs some work. That's why he wasn't drafted as high. High school player, some boards had him like 12, 13, and he got drafted 27. So good value for the Phillies. So these guys, I think, are the 6. They're definitely going to be in the top 100 of MLB prospects. Not right away, but soon. They're definitely going to go ahead and get there to the top 100 in the MLB. So definitely we're going to go ahead and get that squared away as well. So there you go. Those are your top Major League Baseball prospects, high school side, in the most recent MLB draft. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that. Next week on our podcast, the Ravery Sports Podcast, we are going to go ahead and go over some things as well. We got one more segment here. I almost forgot. One more segment, but definitely next week, we're going to go over the state of the Ravens franchise. So when you're looking at the tagline on the video, that's what you're going to see, state of the franchise for the Ravens. The Orioles, Red Heart. So the Orioles today, looking at it right now, I purposely recorded this to wait until after the Orioles win 8-5 over the Dodgers. So current record now is 58-37 going in today as well for your Baltimore Orioles. Dean Kramer, kind of like shaky today, 4 2/3. Gave up like 5 earned runs, but good recovery by the bullpen. Batista, Mount Batista went ahead and got the save. Split here with the Dodgers. I thought the Dodgers were very good in this. I thought the Dodgers, they're an elite team. I think the Orioles are very impressive, though. They went ahead and played with them. Lots of good offensive players. Clearly, I'd say though, I keep saying this is good. Brandon Hyde is having some issue juggling these players here. I think really Brandon Hyde clearly guys are in and out a lot. Mateo was in today. Urias was in today. That's almost seems like the B squad. Um, O'Hearn sat for the first time in a while. Mountcastle, not as many at bats since he's returned. Austin Hayes kind of back. Guys, Santander's played several different positions. Gunners played several different positions. Uh, a lot of moving around for a team that's contending for a world title. So see how that's addressed. That's trade deadline. I think a good strategy is maybe looking at some of these guys, some of these offensive guys that maybe you can move and get some pitching. Um, are they ready to give up on Mountcastle and go with O'Hearn? Maybe. Are you ready to give up your Urias? How much of a market does he have? Some of these other guys they have. Maybe you give up one of these young guys that you like. Maybe a Joey Ortiz, maybe a Westberg, maybe a something to go ahead and get some pitching. So I definitely think you need starting pitching if you have any illusions, any hopes rather, of winning a world title. So that's a thing that they're looking for. So definitely let's just take a look at the Orioles as well going forward. In about 2 weeks, we will do our Orioles at the end of the month. We'll go ahead and do our full July recap. And as we go down the stretch for the rest of the season, because last 2 months, there's a pennant chase. And we're going to go ahead and see how the Orioles are going to do for the rest of the year with that. So thank you very much for joining us. Definitely check us out August 5th at Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, as we go ahead and get that squared away with our Ravery Sports Tour. Thank you for joining us here. Thank you for also to subscribing to our Twitter page, subscribing to our Facebook page, subscribing to our YouTube channel. All that stuff went up. This week I was very pleased with that. So it's a slow build, but it's building, and I thank you. We all thank you here at Ravery Sports. So thank you very much for joining us here as well. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next Wednesday for our Ravery